The original version of Long May You Run was done on electric guitars, but he regularly plays it. In the years since, he regularly plays it acoustically, and we're going to look at the acoustic version as Neil Young would typically play it. We can't put a definitive version down because, as always with Neil Young, he plays it slightly differently every time he plays it. But here's a good example of a way that he'll play it on any given night. We'll start with our tab and we'll look at the introduction from the tab, and then we'll switch to the song sheet because we're really going to set up a standard strum pattern that will go for the whole song. I'll show you a couple of embellishments along the way too. So let's get into bars 1 and 2 of the tab. The intro that you can see there is going to sound like this. Now, I've only actually heard him play this intro this way on one version, the version that I used as a template. Other times, let's get into a simpler one first. Other times, he'll either just set up a D chord with our standard strum pattern, which is going to be bass, 4th string of a D chord, down, up, bass, up, down, up. So bass, down, up, bass, up, down, up. You could just strum that D chord until you begin to sing. We've been through some. So the simplest intro would simply be that. But what he does on this one, I quite like it, is he starts by picking out of a D chord. Make a D chord, lift the 1st string finger off and play 4, 3, 1. 1 rings for half a beat and then 2, 3, 2. The rhythm is 1, 2 and 4 and. Nothing on 3. And it's followed in the second bar by a down strum of a D chord, and you can either let that ring across the whole bar, so you'd get 1, 2 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and then into the song, or as he does on this version that we're listening to, he strums that D chord and then fills out the bar with down, up, down, up, down, up, very gently brushed across the strings. That would go like this: 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and then into the song itself. So a couple of options there for your introduction. That's really all we're going to need for the tab because the song itself is standard chords with a standard strum pattern. So let's flip over to the song sheet and we'll follow that as we go through the rest of the song. Our basic strum pattern is the one we looked at for the easy version of the introduction. Bass, bass, down, up, bass, up, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, up, down, up. If you find it tricky to pick with your pick an individual string and then strum, try your thumb and index finger. Bass, down, up, bass, up, down, up. Or, if you don't like that either, just ignore the pick and play down. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. That would be the simplest possible version. But he likes to pick those bass notes, and it does give it this really cool country feel to the song. So, D for 1 bar, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and then to A over D, which is simply the 2nd and 3rd strings at the 2nd fret, and the bass note remains the open 4th string. Now we've got a G chord, and the bass note is the 6th string, and back to D. That's the first line of the song. We've been through some things together. Line 2 goes B minor, 5th string and the strum pattern. If you don't like the bar chord, play it like that, where the bar finger becomes the 1st string, 1st fret, and go 4th string and the strum pattern. Then it'll go to G, then it'll go to A, and I'll talk about A when we get there, but B minor, G. A is going to go for 2 bars. A couple of times on this version of the song, he strums a normal bar of A the normal way, and the bass note is the 5th string. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 2nd bar of A, he takes the 2nd string note off to create technically the chord of A sus2 and plays the same strum pattern. That can be very effective. Other times he doesn't do that, he'll just do 2 bars of straight A. Other times he'll start by lifting that finger off and then put it back down halfway through the bar. 1, 2 3, the finger would go back down. Any of those things will sound fine. With trunks of memories still to come. I like that A sus2 for a full bar, that's very effective. Now the next line repeats the first line, or the strum pattern of the first line. D, A over D, G, D. And the refrain line is going to go B minor to A and then D, and we'll look at a possible embellishment on that D chord. B minor, A, and D. Now it's 2 bars. You could of course just strum it normally. Something that he does is he often will lift this finger off at the end of the first bar. Let me play what he does at various times. 1 and a 2, no sorry, let's do this right. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and, so 4 and is the finger coming off and then back down again for 1, 2, 3 and then maybe a little brushy strum on 4 and. That really defines the end of the verse. You're really putting a bookmark at the end of the line if you play it that way. Long may you run. 2, 3, 4. Let's play the whole verse, including that little embellishment at the end. We've been through some things together, with trunks of memories still to come. Things to do in stormy weather. Long may you run. That little down up at the end is on the 4th beat, and it would be followed immediately by a continuation of D as we begin to sing the chorus. Most of the chorus is exactly the same. Until the very end it's the same. Let's sing the chorus and I'll continue it into the bit you can see on your song sheet that goes to G and B flat, and then we'll come back and look at how the G and B flat is being played. Long may you run, long may you run, although these changes have come. With your chrome light shining in the sun, long may you run. That would be followed again by D at the beginning of the solo. But let's come back to that chorus. Everything about it is the same as the verse until you get to the final D. Long may you run. We're going to go bass, down, up, down. 1, 2 and 3. On 4, go to a G chord, strum it down, it rings across 1 of the next bar, and then we go down, up, down, up, down, up on 2 and 3 and 4 and. Put together, that's going to be 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4. And B flat is our normal strum pattern for 2 bars. Now B flat, I've seen him on different videos playing this a couple of different ways. Either a bar chord of the 6th fret and the E shape in front of the bar, and then your rhythm would be bass, down, up, bass, up, down, up, bass being the 6th string. If you don't like the bar chord, play it as if it's an F chord, either like that, an F chord shape I mean, either like that or like that. Bass then will be the 4th string, 4, down, up, 4, up, down, up. By the way, that would be 1 bar, 2 bars is doing that 2 times. I've also seen him play it at the 1st fret. You can bar the 1st fret and make an A shape in front of the bar, either like that or like that with 1 finger. Or what he tends to do is that and kind of hooking the thumb over here. That's very convoluted to me. That gets the bottom 2 strings here. Don't like that one myself, but I've seen him do that. I like this one. If you don't like the bar, try that one. Any of those will work for you. And it's bass, down, up, repeat, down, up, bass, up, down, up. 2 bars. Let's play that final line of the chorus. Long may you run. D. And that's the solo. It's the first two lines of the verse, just as you played them before. And then you begin to sing again for verse 2 when you play the second bar of A back to D. It was back in Black River in 1962. Yeah, and it's a normal verse. You play it the same way as verse 1. It's followed by the chorus. You're going to play that the same way. You've already done everything in the song now. They play another solo. This time the solo covers the whole of the sequence of a verse. Neil Young, of course, is soloing with a harmonica. You might feel with just a guitar that a whole verse here is a bit too long for another solo, in which case make it half the length, in other words the same length as the first solo. Then you've got verse 3, maybe the Beach Boys, I've Got You Now, another chorus, and another solo. Again, I might recommend, if you're just playing with one guitar, halving the length of that solo. Just play the first two lines of it. And they finish with this beautiful acapella chorus with just the voices in harmony. We can get that on a solo version. I think you could sing it completely a cappella. A cappella means with no accompaniment at all. Or, what I like to do, and I did in the playthrough, is just strum one down strum as each chord appears. So you get this. Long may you run, long may you run, although these changes have come. With your chrome heart shining in the sun, long may you run. Slow down on that last line and finish as you sing the word run with one strum of D. That's a really beautiful and effective way to end this wonderful and classic Neil Young song, Long May You Run.